Yo, how's everybody doing today? Swaikage here, and welcome to today's video where, as you can tell by both the title and the thumbnail, we're going to be talking about Minato versus Hashirama, a battle between two Hokage, the first and the fourth. Now, a lot of people wanted me to do this battle ever since I showed off that it was an option in the poll I posted the week before I did Neji versus Lee. If you go back and watch that video, at the beginning of it, I showed off a poll where there were 4 options, and this battle was one of them. Now, this battle came in second place, so apparently a lot of people want to see me cover it. And on top of that, a lot of people in my comments have been asking for it as well, which is a bit weird because one of the most viewed videos on my channel is a video of me ranking the Hokage from strongest to weakest, and in that video I clearly state that Minato is weaker than Hashirama. Now, I guess I can understand people not thinking that that necessarily means Minato loses to Hashirama, but I'm just gonna go ahead and say, like, right from the jump, yeah, it definitely does. This battle, or this video, is going to be composed primarily of me explaining why Hashirama wins and why Minato loses, because it's really not fair. It's like a complete mismatch, and I guess I understand why people want to see it happen. They're 2 of the strongest Hokage next to Naruto, and you know, they both have a pretty legendary status throughout the lore, but it's just Hashirama is a bad opponent for anybody, dude. So anyway, let me just go ahead and get right into this, okay? But well, actually before I do, I will just say, like, let me make it clear from the very beginning, I am a Minato tard. I love Minato. He is in my top 5 favorite characters. Super cool dude, excellent shinobi. I like him a lot more than I like Hashirama. Not to say that I hate Hashirama, but I do like Minato more, but it would just be dishonest of me to say that Minato wins here. So like I was just saying, let's go ahead and get into this and discuss why. So first scenario that I'm going to discuss is pre-Edo versus pre-Edo, so living Minato versus living Hashirama. Now, here's the thing. I know that it might seem a bit weird for me to use Edo Hashirama feats in the living Minato versus living Hashirama battle here, but the reason why I think it's fair to do so is because the only reason I'm splitting this into alive versus alive and Edo versus Edo is because of the fact that Edo Minato and alive Minato are very different. As a matter of fact, Minato is one of a small handful of characters that actually got a lot stronger when they were revived through Edo Tensei, and this is because, as many people know, he gained access to the Kyuubi Chakra mode that Naruto also has access to, thanks to the fact that he sealed half of the Nine Tails inside of him when he died. First battle is going to be Minato without the Nine Tails and without Edo regeneration powers. Second battle is going to be him with Edo regeneration powers and with the Nine Tails, and I guess I can even do a bonus round of what if both of them were alive and Minato had the Kyuubi. Anyway, so first round here, base to base, living versus living, Minato has absolutely no chance of going up against Hashirama. He's faster than Hashirama, of course. I don't think anybody would contest that with me, but really, what can he do aside from land a couple Rasengan or attempt to slash through Hashirama with some kunai or whatever? Like, there's really nothing he has up his sleeve. The thing that I think gives Minato the highest chance of quote-unquote victory here is the Reaper Death Seal, as he was even able to use this against the Nine Tails to seal it, but it's been made apparent, or it was made apparent the very first time the Reaper Death Seal was used on screen or in the manga, that a sufficient difference in strength can prevent a person from successfully sealing somebody with this jutsu, as Hiruzen wasn't able to fully extract Orochimaru's soul when he tried to use it on him. Now, this is probably due in part to the injuries he was sustaining. You know, he had a sword just like piercing him through the back, but you know, the point is that the Reaper Death Seal isn't a guaranteed kill, and if Hashirama can do enough damage to Minato before he reaches the point that he's able to actually use this jutsu on Hashirama, the strength difference is so massive that I really can't see Minato managing to pull Hashirama's soul out. I know Hiruzen did it when Orochimaru reanimated both Hashirama and Tobirama, but they were severely weakened and they didn't really have any, like, will of their own. They weren't able to consciously resist the pull of the Reaper, and that's why the jutsu affected them. Had they both been alive, I don't think Hiruzen would have been able to take either of them out with the jutsu, so I think that's worth keeping in mind. I mean, at best, the Reaper Death Seal might work on Hashirama, but it's a really big long shot, and I know a lot of people are going to jump and say, well, if Minato was able to seal the Kyuubi with the Reaper Death Seal, surely he'd be able to seal Hashirama, but no, Hashirama is much stronger than the Kyuubi. As a matter of fact, he was able to utterly thrash the complete Nine-Tailed Fox, even while Madara was controlling it and made it significantly more powerful by cloaking it in his perfect Susanoo. So if Hashirama is able to effortlessly deal with that, there's no way you can argue that the Ninetales is stronger than him, even a little bit. Hashirama's way stronger than the Kyuubi, or any of the tailed beasts for that matter. As a matter of fact, Hashirama was so powerful that he was able to capture and contain all of the Biju without using the Sharingan the same way the Uchiha had to, just with physical force alone, and using a wood-style jutsu that suppressed the power of the Biju. And then, because he was such a nice guy and didn't want the Hidden Leaf Village to be too OP, he gave away 8 of the Biju to the other villages and just decided to keep the Kyuubi located in the leaf. Hashirama is way stronger than any of the tailed beasts, so using the fact that Minato was able to use the Reaper Death Seal to seal the Kyuubi into both he and Naruto, that's a bit of a weak argument if you're trying to prove that he'd be able to use the same jutsu on Hashirama. And again, that's really the only kill move that I think Minato has that'll be able to take Hashirama out, because it's like Hashi can regenerate and heal himself without even weaving hand seals, and his healing jutsu are supposedly stronger than Tsunade's. At the very least, they're comparable. And, I mean, I talked in the last versus battle, Kakashi versus Tsunade, about just how insane Tsunade's creation rebirth is. It makes her practically immortal. And so even if Hashirama's healing jutsu is half that good, like, even if you lowball it, Minato's gonna have a really hard time doing any permanent damage to him that doesn't just wear off immediately. And Hashirama's medical jutsu lasts for much longer than Tsunade's creation rebirth does. Hashirama's just effectively perpetually healing himself over and over throughout the course of a fight, and like even having his DNA is enough to give a person regenerative capabilities. For instance, with the cells of Hashirama and the added power of being the Jubi Jinchuriki, Madara was able to do some Dragon Ball Z level regeneration after having his arm completely blown off from an attack by 8th Gate Guy. And now, granted, Hashirama's regeneration is nowhere near that level, but the point is, it seems to be an inherent trait of his that can just be passed along by giving his DNA to somebody. Like, it's not like some active jutsu that really heavily drains him of his chakra. And even if it was, he has plenty of chakra, as he makes this very apparent in the war arc when Naruto is sharing his chakra with the entire Shinobi Alliance. Not just his chakra, but also the chakra of half the Ninetales. And Hashirama just flat out says, holy shit, that's almost as much chakra as I have. And that, if that's true, then aside from the characters with 6 paths powers, Hashirama has to have, without a doubt, the largest chakra reserve in the entire series. I don't think anybody is competing with him in terms of sheer amounts of dormant chakra. That said, that means that, like, even if his healing jutsu did drain chakra very quickly the same way Tsunade's did, I mean, it wouldn't be too much of a problem for him, because he certainly has a lot more chakra than Tsunade does to draw from in the first place. Also, in base, without even entering Sage Mode, Hashirama was able to completely resist Orochimaru's control over him with the reanimation jutsu, and Minato couldn't manage that in base, nowhere even close. As a matter of fact, Tobirama was able to suppress it at least a little bit, but Minato couldn't even do that much. Now, you could argue maybe Minato would be able to do it if he entered Sage Mode, and would also likely be able to do it if he entered Kyuubi Chakra Mode, but he couldn't do it in base, and since we're not talking about Edo Tensei Minato here, again, I don't even think I need to bring that up. I don't think anybody's gonna argue that Minato is anywhere near Hashirama level in terms of strength. And I mean, like, let's be real here. Hashirama stomps the moment he brings out the enormous, true several thousand hand statue. Like, at that point, it's a wrap. He also has the gigantic wood golem, the fucking big-ass hands that he can rise out from under the ground, quintuple fucking Rashomon. I mean, yeah, there's nothing that Minato's gonna be able to do here. And the thing that I normally bring up in versus battles with pre-Edo Minato that gives him an edge over most of the opponents he goes up against is the fact that he has access to Sage Mode. But Hashirama has Sage Mode here, and I think that it's safe to say that, without a doubt, Hashirama is the best user of Senjutsu, not counting the users of 6 Paths Chakra, in the whole series, in the entire history of the Naruto world. And, like, I don't think anybody would get mad at me for saying that. You know, Hashirama is, without a doubt, the strongest Sage, so just having access to Sage Mode isn't going to close the gap between Minato and Hashirama here. And now, normally I don't take this statement into account because I think Minato's downplaying himself when he mentions it, but Minato does say that he's not very great at using Senjutsu, and now I could use this to say that, yeah, see, this is even more evidence that Minato has no chance in a battle like this, but I'm going to go ahead and say, because I know people are going to bring it up in the comments regardless, I'm going to go ahead and say I actually don't agree with this. Again, I think Minato's downplaying himself. Like, he's a perfect Sage, and it takes him all of, like, 2 seconds to enter Sage Mode. He's just like, yeah, I'm not very good at it. Then he just, like, closes closes his eyes, opens them back up, and suddenly he's in Sage mode. It's like, what the fuck, dude? You're better than Naruto at using this fucking ability. I'm not gonna hold that against him, but everything else, yeah, Hashirama is way stronger than him. He also has access to Sage mode, so that doesn't give Minato any advantage here. He is significantly stronger than the Nine-Tailed Fox, so it sort of hurts my ability to believe that Minato has any chance at taking him out with the Reaper Death Seal, and at best, that provides a double knockout. That's not a win, that's a tie, so at best, Minato's coming through with a tie here, and even then, there are a whole lot of pieces of evidence that lead me to believe that he's really not going to be able to take Hashirama out with that jutsu anyway. Like, if he does attempt to use the Reaper Death Seal, all he'll end up doing is getting himself sealed inside the belly of the Reaper, and Hashirama will just, yeah, he'll still be standing, and Minato will have killed himself. So, I've been talking about this for plenty. Now, let's move on to KCM Minato versus Hashirama. KCM Minato has a much higher chance of victory here. He is significantly faster, and he has a whole lot more firepower. He might actually be able to take Hashirama out with that giant fucking QB mode Rasengan of his. Maybe launch a couple tailed beast bombs or whatever, but here's the thing. Hashirama, like I mentioned earlier, was able to survive for a full day fighting against Madara in control of the Nine-Tailed Fox, and Madara was amping the QB's attacks throughout the entire fight with his Susanoo and a bunch of other jutsu, like for instance, when he shot some like Susanoo blades into a tailed beast ball, and Hashirama like casually deflected it by just immediately pulling out a quintuple Rashomon. I mean, it's not like he like fucking stopped it completely. As a matter of fact, he really barely did anything to it. All he did was change its trajectory, but the point is, he didn't get hit by it, and he did seem afraid of getting hit by it. It looked like Hashirama was like, whoa, it's probably best that I do not let that thing make contact with me. But the most important thing is that that was an attack way more powerful than Minato will be able to create. And Hashirama managed to prevent himself from getting hit by it. And, you know, it sort of closes the case. If he's able to do it against Madara, in base form no less, then he shouldn't have any trouble deflecting a tailed beast ball from Minato while he's in Sage mode. On top of that, even Yamato was able to suppress Naruto's Kyuubi chakra, and now it's definitely like giving Yamato way too much credit to assume that he'd be able to just knock Naruto straight out of Biju mode, but Yamato is nowhere near as strong as Hashirama, so it's very possible to argue that Hashirama would be able to just knock Minato right out of Biju mode as well. Even if he can't, Hashirama also has those chakra suppression gates that were even able to keep the Jubi held down in place. So if he's able to suppress the movements of the Jubi, I mean, like, yeah, no brainer. He'll definitely be able to do the same thing, except with more effectiveness against one half of the Nine-Tails. Now, I'm not saying that Minato is only as strong as one half of the QB, because, you know, according to the series, a Jinchuriki transformed into their tailed beast state is much more powerful than that tailed beast is individually, but still, that doesn't mean that Minato's on the level of the Jubi with, again, one half of the Nine-Tailed Fox's chakra. The best thing that Minato has going for him here is his ludicrous speed, because he's like easily one of the fastest characters in the series with Biju mode. Like, he was already way faster than the Raikage in base, and then you stack this ridiculous speed multiplier that took base Naruto, who really wasn't anything of a speedster before he got the form, and made him faster than the fucking Raikage, and you give that to Minato, and it's like, holy shit, you know, like, I can't even imagine how much faster Minato would be than Hashirama now, but speed's not gonna do a whole lot here when Hashirama is able to just tank every attack that Minato throws at him. And then let's not even get into the crazy arsenal that Hashirama has to fire back with. Seriously, in terms of firepower, it's not even a contest, so I'm not even gonna bother getting into that. Granted, they both do have like infinite chakra and infinite stamina in Edo Tensei, so it's gonna be a really long battle, but I do think Hashirama is gonna come out on top in the end. Now, one thing I will give to Minato here is that Hashirama doesn't really seem to have any solo sealing jutsu, none that he's displayed in the manga anyway. Not saying that he can't seal people, but he did seem to need help sealing Madara after he'd pinned him down with his Sage Art Gate of the Great God, whereas Minato has access to the Reaper Death Seal. So now this really just depends, because again, Minato might just end up giving his his soul to the Reaper, leaving Hashirama as the last one standing. But I guess on technicality, Minato is really the only person who's shown the ability to use like a proper sealing jutsu capable of sealing away a reanimated shinobi. But like, if you don't take that into account and you assume that Hashirama can seal another reanimated ninja, then like, I don't want to give this battle to Minato just on that technicality alone. Like, see, Hashirama needed help sealing Madara, therefore Minato wins because he has Reaper Death Seal, which can solo seal people. But I just think that's worth mentioning. If you take away the Edo Tensei regeneration and just make both of them, you know, alive, but still give Minato access to QB Chakra mode, Hashirama still wins. There's really nothing Minato can do. Like, he has crazy speed and his attack power is amplified a lot as well, but Hashirama is a complete fucking monster, dude. Honestly, don't know what Kishimoto was thinking when he created a character that is just this insanely powerful. Whereas Minato, you know, he's a speedster, he's a really good tactician, but he doesn't have a whole lot that he's going to be able to use to take Hashirama out here. Sorry, I know I didn't go into a whole lot of detail here. I just sort of focused in on a couple of very small specific points, but I didn't really think that I needed to do a whole lot of extensive discussion for this video, because I'm pretty sure like everybody knows, or everybody should know anyway, that Minato is weaker than Hashirama, right? Like, it's been made very apparent. The series makes this very clear that Hashirama is the strongest of the first 4 Hokage, and yeah, that's really the end of the discussion. Anyway, that's gonna be all from me. Leave any future ideas for versus battles or Naruto lore videos you have in the comments below. Thank you for watching the video all the way to the end, and until my next video, I'll talk to you later. Swag Kage out. Bye.